Hey, Mom. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hi to all of our knights, our staff, our coaches. We're going to have a few more people coming in, but we're about to get started. So you are in the correct place. All right, everybody. It is 3 o'clock. I'm going to let you all know that because we have individuals who might be in class, they might be watching via YouTube instead. This broadcast is going to be recorded. If you would like to turn off your video cameras, or you can also, we sent a YouTube link. It's also on Canvas if you prefer not to be on the recording, okay? So you have the version just being here on Zoom. You can have your video on, video off. It's up to you, but just making sure you know we're about to start recording, okay? Everybody, my name is Aaron Deddy. I am the athletic director of San Diego City College, and we are the Knights, and we have some good news. We're coming back to campus. Maybe it's not the same way we'd all like to at this moment, but it's step one of the many, because our goal is to be back safely, I must stress to you, playing sports in the future. I'm not going to give you an exact date, but this is part one. And it's about safety. It's about getting back to camp. It's about getting back to shape. There are some individuals here who will be sharing some information, but I want to start off by directing you to the main head director of our medical team for athletics, along working with our team and our medical team. And we've got Dee Armstrong in here, Dottie Cordell. I know our VPs are around here as well. But we're going to hand this off to Jamie Jenkins. She is your full-time head athletic trainer here at San Diego City College.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jamie, like Aaron said. Aaron, can you share the PowerPoint I sent you? So today I'm just going to be going back over some of the stuff we need to do in order for us to safely get back on campus. So I made a PowerPoint for you guys. You can go to the next screen. All right, so the who's who of athletics. Aaron introduced himself. He is our acting dean and our athletic director. I am the head athletic trainer. My name is Jamie Jenkins. You have my email. This is my Google phone, so you can call me anytime you have questions. Our athletic administrative technician is Irene. She's there to answer any questions you might have. Best way to contact her is that email. And then she also has a Google phone number listed here. So if you ever need to get in contact with one of us, this is a great place to reference. All right, today we are going to be talking about the pre-participation process, which we already should have started for most of you. We're going to do some brief COVID education. I'm sure you have all learned about COVID, but we're going to go over it today. And then I'm going to give you some information about how the training sessions will go. So the first order of business is pre-participation. You all should be a part of the Canvas page. If you have not visited it yet, please visit the Canvas page. Aaron input all of you in there, so you should all be registered to that Canvas page. So that's step one. In that Canvas page, they were due yesterday, are your student physicals. The packet is available online. Your coaches should have emailed it to you, and it is also available on the Canvas page. So if you have not done so yet, please upload your physical into the Canvas page. We have to have a new physical, whether you are a returner or you had one a year ago. We unfortunately need to have a brand new physical for you. So you're going to upload that into Canvas, and then on your first day back to campus, you are also going to bring a hard copy with you. Erin, you can go to the next slide so they can see what I'm talking about. In that packet, there's also a COVID-19 questionnaire. If you could also upload that into Canvas and bring the hard copy to campus. So your physical packet, all of the pages of it, and the COVID questionnaire need to be in Canvas and brought to campus on your first day. After this presentation today, we have made a super challenging quiz for you guys to complete. It's just showing that you listened to me talk today, you understand what's going on. So you must complete that quiz. I think it's about 5 questions, so don't stress, it's not that hard. And then starting tomorrow, you must go out and get a baseline COVID-19 test. The COVID test is required for all students coming back to campus. We just need to prove that you do not have COVID on your first day back to campus. You can go to the next slide. This test must be completed by starting tomorrow until the 9th, and then it must be submitted into Canvas, the same place your physical is, by April 10th. I know that's a little bit confusing, but we have to have a window of when this COVID test is done. If you had one a week ago, 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, it's not going to count. It has to be done by in between the times of April 7th and April 9th in order for me to give you credit for that assignment. So make sure that you get that test done early enough to get the results back by April 10th so that you could submit it by midnight. I would suggest scheduling an appointment for tomorrow, if you can, to get it done as soon as possible. On the next slide, I provided you guys with some locations. So if you click on that link, it'll take you to the San Diego County website, or you can call 211 to get a whole list of all of the free county locations. So again, let me emphasize, please get a free test. This should not cost you any money. They are free through the campus. So make sure that you do that. And it's just the PCR test. So that's just where they put the swab up your nose. You don't need to get any other type of test. That's the only one I need you to get. And once you get that test, you're going to follow the directions on the next slide, and it shows you how to upload your results. Same thing in Canvas. You're going to log into your Canvas, go to the athletics page, click on assignments, upload your COVID results, and then you are all good to go. So as long as you have your physical, your COVID test, you take the quiz, you are all good to come to campus. So we are going to move on and talk about what COVID-19 is. I'm sure you guys have all heard this 100 times. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to review it so that I know we are all on the same page. COVID-19 is caused by a virus that has been named SARS-CoV-2 or coronavirus disease 2019. It is a respiratory disease that affects both the upper and lower respiratory tract. It is highly transmissible. It can be an asymptomatic spreading, which I will go over in a few slides. And as of now, there are multiple variants that have been detected, meaning there's more than one strand of this disease that we can possibly transmit. All of the variants are highly transmissible. And it is a virus, which means that there is no medication or drug to cure the disease. The medication only helps treat the symptoms. And then I know we have all heard about these vaccines, and these vaccines are here to help prevent you from developing COVID-19 and then possibly spreading it. So it's a very good thing to have that vaccine if possible. On the next slide, we'll talk about some symptoms that you can experience. I'm sure we've all heard this. You can have fever or chills, a cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, body aches, headache, a new loss of taste or smell, a sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting or diarrhea. One thing to note is that these symptoms can appear 2 to 14 days after exposure. So you've been in contact with somebody, they find out that they had COVID, If you don't have symptoms the next day, doesn't mean that you're not going to develop them within the next 14 days. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also, these symptoms are unique to you. So you might have X, Y, and Z, whereas your brother or sister might have a whole different list of symptoms. But that doesn't mean that your COVID is different than their COVID. It's just how your body reacts to the disease. So just if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, get tested and quarantine until you have those results for best measures. On the next slide, you can see a comparison of COVID symptoms versus the flu versus allergies. So sometimes these symptoms can look very similar, but my best piece of advice would be when in doubt, check it out. You cannot be too safe with this. So if you are feeling any type of fever, you're sneezing, you have a cough, just go get checked out. Like I said, the tests are free. So it's better to be safe than sorry with that. Earlier, I was talking about asymptomatic spreading. Asymptomatic spreading means that you carry the COVID-19 disease and you can pass it along to others, but you do not have any symptoms. So you feel good as new, you don't have any symptoms, but you are still carrying the disease. So best practice is to interact with others as if you and everyone else has COVID, meaning keep your distance, social distancing, wear your mask, wash your hands, all of that good stuff. On the next slide is just a list of people that are in the high risk group. So those with asthma, type 1 or type 2 diabetes, sickle cell disease, obesity, smoking, if you are in an immunocompromised state, you have cancer, chronic kidney disease, COPD, heart conditions, or if you are pregnant, this just puts you in a higher risk for contracting COVID-19. Just because you are not in one of these high risk groups does not mean that you cannot contract the COVID or suffer from complications. It just means that this high risk group has a higher chance, but you still have a risk, so be careful. Everyone can contract COVID-19 and transmit it. So just keep that in the back of your mind. If you know somebody that is in one of these high risk groups, you just want to make sure that you are extra safe around them. Try and stay away from it if you can. On that note, please, 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 please stay home. If you feel sick, have one or more symptoms, have been in close contact with anyone who potentially contracted the virus or had a confirmed positive test, if you have been notified from county contact tracers that you have been in close contact with anyone who potentially contracted the virus or confirmed positive test. Our goal for coming back to campus is to be as safe as possible and to stay on campus. So the best way to do that is if you are not feeling well, stay home. And if you are staying home because you don't feel well, you are going to contact me, the athletic trainer. You have my email and you have my Google phone. So you can contact me and I will walk you through the next steps of how and when it is safe to get back to campus. On the next slide, we're going to talk about COVID-19 and how it spreads. So it spreads mainly from person to person through respiratory droplets from coughing, sneezing, or talking. So that means you're talking to a friend, they accidentally sneeze, a part of their sneeze gets into your mouth or your eyes, and then you could potentially contract COVID-19. If you touch a surface that the virus is on, so if someone sneezes onto a water bottle, you pick up that water bottle, drink from it, and then you wipe your mouth, you can possibly transmit COVID-19. So we want to avoid that. So on the next slide, we will talk about how we plan to keep you safe and how we are hopefully going to not spread COVID.
And Jamie?
Yes.
As we're going into this moment, we have a special visitor, and we just want to make sure as we're getting to this point, I want to hand it off to Matilda Tilly Chavez, our Vice President of Instruction, to outline a few more things on what you've already said. Tilly, are you there?
Erin, I'm here. Thank you. Hi, Jamie. Thank you. I'm really impressed. I like your slides. May have to borrow some of them. Thank you for going over the information as well. And Looks like you have a wonderful group of 39 people, 39 participants, and then who knows who else is out there. Right, Erin? So thank you. And I also see a colleague in here, Dee Armstrong, as well. And welcome everyone again. I just really wanted to pop in to welcome you and how excited we are. I've got to tell you, Erin, my hat goes off to you and your team. Over a year of planning, over a year of bugging me, bugging all of us. When, time, looking out for your safety. And Dottie Cordell, I see Dottie as well. Thank you, Dottie. And so a couple of things. I just want to say that there's been a lot of time and effort put into allowing you to all get here. And for me, as the Vice President of Instruction, I just really wanted to make sure that you all understand that what a privilege it truly is for us to be able to allow students back on campus. And it's not that we've been trying to hold back or anything, but it's about safety. And I mentioned Dr. Dottie Cordell and Dr. Armstrong. We have Dottie's our nurse through our Student Health Center, and Dee's our associate dean of our nursing department. And I come with you with at least 34 years as being a nurse myself. So a little precautionary is coming from all of us to make sure that you're safe and that we do this in the safest manner. I think that's really kind of what I wanted to start off with. And this is perfect, Jamie, because it's talking about transmission of COVID. And I'm going to look to Dottie and Dee because I think you all had a few things that you wanted to add. And for me, I'm just excited that you're here, but also to say, please, let's maintain the social distancing. Things may change in the world on the news one day, and then it goes back another day. So we just want to make sure you're safe. And that's my biggest goal, is to make sure that our students and our faculty and staff are in the best condition possible. Dottie or Dee?
Did you want me to speak now about the student health clinic?
Erin, I don't want to mess up your flow. I'm just mostly about
Dottie and Dee were going to come in after Jamie was done to
perfect. No time. No worries.
Some great things. You all can tell we've been preparing this for quite a while, but it's very difficult to get us all in the same room to prepare an outline.
Thank you. So I will go on for one thing, if you don't mind, and that is that I am really happy to share with you all that a week ago today, I received my second vaccine. So I'm working towards that vaccination. And it's, I know everybody has a difference of opinion, but I as a nurse, I've always received all of my vaccinations from when I was a little one to all the time when I worked in the hospitals of what was required of me. And it's always been an extra layer of protection. So I just want to share with you all for myself that I'm still very safe. I'm still practice social distancing. My colleagues will tell you that I've become a hermit and all those types of things, but I still maintain that safety piece of it. And it really was nothing for me to get that second vaccine. And I'm very happy. I'll be happier when my husband gets his on Thursday, and at least we'll feel like we have a little protection. Doesn't mean we're going to go wild by any means, but now I feel like when it's time that maybe you all have a game, that I can come to a game. That's what really for me it's meant to me, is be able to, that I can actually consider that. And who knows, now maybe you will find me out on the soccer field, just taking a look to see what you're up to, because I will have that little layer of protection. So I just kind of wanted to get in there and just say welcome. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you to all your teams. I can't tell you how happy I really truly am. We've been trying to get to this point for a long time. And I just hope that we can continue to do this the right way. Let's go show San Diego how we do it.
Thank you, Vice President of Instruction, Tilly Chavez. We're going to hand it back to Jamie, and then we're going to hear from Dottie and Dee to close this thing out. Jamie, take it away.
Great. So now we are going to talk about our lovely plan of how we plan to keep you guys safe. We have a lot of steps that we have put into place on how we plan to do that. So on the next slide, it's going to show you 6 of the very many steps that we have taken. So the first one is symptom tracking, temperature checks, physical distancing, wearing a mask, small cohorts, and staggered practice times. So on the next slide, we are going to talk about the symptom tracking. I think some of you I saw yesterday and you all got signed up on Sway, but if you have not yet, this is what we are going to be using for symptom tracking. It's a very, very, very easy process in setting it up. I think I did it with 2 teams yesterday in less than 10 minutes. So all you're going to do is you're going to download this app. You need a unique code for your specific class. Each class has their own little code. So you're going to need that. If you don't have it, email me and I'll give it to you. You open the app, you go through 10 COVID questions, asking if you have symptoms, if you've been around anybody. And then on the last screen, it's going to ask you about your temperature. You don't have to do that in this app. Leave it blank, click next, and you are done. So it's a very, very simple process, but if you can, I would like you to set this up as soon as possible, because 1 hour before your practice time, you will receive a notification from this app on your phone. And then it's just going to ask you to fill out the 10 questions, and then it will give you either a passed in green or it's going to say flagged in red. If it says passed, you are good to come to campus. If it says flagged, do not come to campus. I will contact you on what your next steps are and how to get you back on campus. So it's a really easy thing to use. And then we're going to have to do this every time you come to campus. So each week, you're going to get a notification 1 hour before your practice time to make sure that you complete that. So that is one step on how we are keeping you guys safe. I believe I already said this. Sorry. The next one is temperature checks. So in the Sway app, it's going to ask you for your temperature. Again, you don't need to put it, just click next, leave it blank. 30 minutes prior to your assigned class time, you are going to come to campus. I will tell you exactly where in a few slides, and either myself or Aaron or somebody else in the athletic department with a medical background will be taking your temperature. So you're going to wait in a little line and you are going to get your temperature taken with a thermometer. And if your temperature is below 100 degrees, you will receive a special colored wristband, and then you are free to move to your campus or your practice location. If your temperature is above 100, there's going to be a few steps that we're going to take. And if it stays above 100, you will be asked to return home and you will get a follow-up on how we are going to get you back to campus. So temperature checks. The next one, after you've gotten your temperature checked, you will move to your practice location. In your practice location, we are going to make sure that we are maintaining distance. So I think we are going to be spray painting 15 by 15 squares on all of the practice locations, and you are to stay inside this square. Towels will be provided to you. So you're just going to stay in your little square, which will keep you distance from everybody. There is no congregating in groups. And then it's only one person allowed in the restrooms at a time. That will make sense when we get to that part. But for distancing, we have to keep one person in a restroom at a time. Another thing we will be strictly enforcing is that you must wear a mask at all times. This means the second you exit your vehicle, you must have your mask on, and then you don't take it off until you depart campus. So you want to make sure that your mask is fitting properly. Sorry, this is a personal thing of mine, but I will not be allowing gaiters or buffs, which is the picture of this guy with the blue mask on. These just aren't very effective masks. I will have extra masks if you do not have a mask that is not a gaiter or a buff. So we want to make sure that the mask is fitting properly. Unfortunately, these ones just don't fit great, so they will not be allowed. Next, we are going to keep small cohorts. So we are only allowing 12 students plus instructors into our cohorts, and there is no switching of cohorts at this time. And then lastly, we have created a staggered practice time. So you can see here, this is your practice time. There is enough time in between for us to take temperatures, to clean and sanitize the surfaces, although these are all outdoors. So by that, I mean cleaning the restrooms. So that is how we plan to keep you safe. The last thing you're going to go over is the plan. So the plan, where to park, the fitness center lot, which I have a picture on the next screen, 16th and Russ structure with a permit, or President's Way, which is just a parking lot up the street. You don't need a parking permit. If you park in the fitness center lot, you do not need a parking permit. They are not enforcing parking at this time. And then when possible, leave one spot on either side of your vehicle. That is for social distancing purposes. So on the next screen, in yellow or green, it's a little bit hard to see, but the fitness center parking is thank you, is in green there. And then the President's Way is just up the street, a little bit of a walk, but closer than the other parking structure. So that is where you can park. And then once you've arrived to campus, you're going to see our check-in tent. It's going to be right outside the fitness center. There will be a tent that says athletics. It's going to be really hard to miss. And what will happen there is I'm going to ensure that you have completed your sway. So I am the only person that has access to that. So I will ensure that you've done it. And then you will get your temperature checked. And again, if your temperature is under 100, then you will move on to your practice location. If it's above, you will be given a document on what to do next. And remember, once you get to this check-in table, on the first day, it might be a little congested, but please keep your distance at that table. This is a picture of where the check-in tent will be. So where it says check-in, that's the fitness center. And right outside of that is where the tent will be. And that is also a better picture of the parking lot. The location, so the first one is the soccer field. These are the sports that will be there: volleyball, soccer, cross country, and men's basketball, no longer. But the restroom location for this is going to be the field house. It is the little field house on the side of the soccer field. And unfortunately, only one person is going to be allowed in these restrooms at a time. It is a smaller field house, so it's going to get congested if there's more than one person. So just one person allowed in that restroom at a time. The next location is Morley Field, which is baseball. It's off campus. We don't have personal access to the public restroom here. So just make sure that you are keeping your distance in that restroom. If it's your own player, please make sure it's just one of you at a time. And then to make sure that you wash your hands with soap and water upon leaving that location. The next one is the softball field. The softball field, we all know where that is. And where that arrow is, we have rented out a portable restroom so that you don't have to go inside. So a portable restroom will be located right where Aaron is kind of circling his mouse. So obviously only one person allowed in there at a time. And then we will have a hand washing or some type of station there for you to sanitize afterwards. So that is going to be for softball, and then also for tennis, which will be tennis and women's basketball on that location. So again, that's the same restroom, but those practice times don't overlap with one another. So it should be one team per time slot. The last one is just an overview of where those locations are: the soccer field, softball, and tennis, where the portable restroom will be, and the check-in tent. My last slide is just talking about responsibility. So communication is going to be key. Like I said, we want to be extra safe. I like to think of this as a practice run for us coming back in the fall. If we can do this correctly, then we have a higher chance of us coming back in the fall. So it's your responsibility to be safe. If you are not feeling well, if you have questions, if you're confused about something, please, please, please don't hesitate to ask. And also be honest. If you're like, oh, I have a headache, but it's not too bad, be honest about it, because it can be bad the next day and you've already infected your whole team. So please, please, please be honest. Your behavior on and off campus can have consequences. So if you are on campus being so diligent about wearing your mask, social distancing, washing your hands, and then on the weekends you're at a very crowded party and touching people and not wearing your mask, you can also be spreading germs. So just make sure that you know your behavior has consequences. And together is the only way we are going to provide a safe environment. So please do your best to be safe. And then just making sure that you understand that new information is constantly emerging and guidelines are changing daily almost. And our education is changing all the time. So as a staff, we will do our best to get our new information out to you as soon as we can, but just be flexible and understand that things may change, and that we just need to do our best to be flexible.
Thank you so much, Jamie. And before I hand it off, just with a quick announcement from Dottie and just a couple things from Dee. You are not forced to come back to campus. Okay, this is an opportunity for those choosing to come to a once a week conditioning to get back into game shape as we progress forward. But actions can have consequences on a very large group. There's about 150 Knights student athletes that are going to be in different cohorts at different times. And we have to treat this as a group effort. And if there are any issues, we have the right to send you to alternative learning, back to the Zoom learning, and the coaches will provide you with that. We need to, during this time, work on this transition back and be doing the right things. Taking off masks, not social distancing, you can just name through the list. Those do have consequences, okay? I'll be out there, you'll see a lot of visitors, and you're going, wow, you sound pretty harsh about this. No. A choice that you make has implications on 13 intercollegiate sports. It has implications on not only the lives of others involved on the campus, but that contact with your buddy when you're not doing the right thing, they can take this home. And not everyone is in healthy shape. And taking it home, an individual can have permanent effects, even death from this. I just had my first round of vaccine yesterday. I'm feeling great. I have not got any issues. I'm not a zombie. But I do want to hand it off to Dottie for a quick statement about student health, mental health, just stressing the importance of our safety, and also from Dee, who's also going to mention an opportunity coming up with vaccinations on our campus. Dottie?
Aaron, could you give me a time frame, make sure I don't talk too much? 5 minutes, 10?
5.
Okay. Give me a sign. Hi, students. It's so neat to see those of you that have your cameras on, and the other ones, the little pics I'm seeing. My name's Dottie Cordell. I've been at City for 20 years. I've been a nurse for 40. I'm the director of the Student Health Clinic. I want to let you guys know that we are open. We don't look open because we're not there in person, but we have a presence virtually. And in this last year of hell, I've learned what we're able to do with a camera and with telehealth and telecounseling. So I want you to know this has been a really rough year. It's not over. And if you don't feel well, if you have a question about an infected finger, or, you know, is this headache indicative that I need to not go in, as Jamie mentioned, and you want to talk to a nurse practitioner, and we have a doctor on call this semester, you can talk it through with us. So we have telehealth appointments and we have telecounseling. So please use us. There's a student health fee that you paid, and we want to be seeing you guys. We can order blood tests. We can order a chest x-ray. We can tell you where the nearest COVID testing is, and make sure, as Jamie said, that you get it free. She did such a great overview. If you want to call and talk to us about vaccines, we're going to be doing a lot of different workshops, going to classes and talking about vaccination and why people may not trust it, especially perhaps members of communities of color that may not have that trust in medicine or the system as it's designed right now. But giving you an opportunity to at least increase your knowledge base about the vaccines. I don't think there's anyone on this call. I won't ask us to raise our hands, but I'll raise mine. There's been significant mental health effects of this pandemic on me in the past year. I live alone, and I'm just really glad I have dogs. If you are feeling anxious, if you're feeling depressed, if you're just feeling not like yourself, it is free to talk to somebody. And we've got incredible counselors, very diverse staff in mental health. And we all need to talk to somebody. And sometimes we don't want to open up to our family to let them know maybe how isolated or weird we feel, especially you guys that I see, you know, you're at the top of your game, you're athletes. And this has not been a good year for people that are used to using their bodies and feeling that great using your bodies that you guys do. So please know it's totally confidential. It's a special HIPAA protected Zoom. So it's not like it's gonna get out there. It's just as locked down as if you saw the doctor or the counselor in the office. So please, please use us. I want to just drive home a little bit more about a few of all of the great stuff Jamie said. Please, your coaches, Dean, your athletic trainer has spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours to do this. And I know that they've both instilled how serious this is. This virus is still really scary. I just saw on the news last night that someone from a school of public health, doctor, is saying that with this variant, this mutation from Britain, that we may be in for a whole new wave of kind of like a whole new virus. And that's no news that any of us want to hear, but we have to take it seriously. And I know when you're young and you feel great, like hearing the symptom list and all of this stuff is kind of boring because you don't feel at risk. But it's just as Dean Deddy said, you have a community responsibility for yourself, and you could game the system. You could go, oh yeah, I'm going to submit that COVID negative test, and then I'm going out this weekend and living the life of a 23-year-old. You know, Duke University just had 130 students or 180, I don't know. They went to a big frat party and they all got sick, and it closed the university down. So, you know, I don't want to talk to you guys like strictly, but I just want you to care about one another and care about your community. And, oh, just a few little tips. Jamie said, and she's right on point with public health, no gaiters or anything. Also, no one thin layer of a t-shirt. You've got to have something that's at least 3 layers. Again, I'm 66 years old. For me, I wear 2 masks. I'm fully vaccinated, but I still do everything when I go out in the community to protect myself. So don't be coming in with a mask that doesn't fit good, that's got all different kinds of gaps on the side. You want it to be well-fitting and to show that, you know, that you recognize how much we all need to take care of ourselves to lift everybody up. I will be happy if any of the coaches want me to come in and do a quick talk more about the virus. I want you guys to know I came into nursing 40 years ago when HIV was just hitting in 1981, and I have not come across a virus that scares me more. It causes clotting and kidney failure. My son's fiance has been working in the ICU at Sharp. She in January saw an 80% death rate, and a 23-year-old was the youngest patient. So I just want you to know the risk is real. This virus is so bad. And last thing, sorry, I keep going back and forth. Dean and Jamie, is that a porta potty that you're referencing, that portable bathroom? Okay, so this is just old nurse stuff. Let's pretend COVID doesn't exist. Man, porta potties are gross. So you've got to have a little bottle of Purell, or I like the spray because it doesn't gum up on my hands. Good God, don't touch anything in that porta potty. And Purell when you get out before you even touch the portable sink. Yuck. I mean, woo. Okay, I'll quit now and turn it over
Thanks,
to
Dottie. I love you, Dottie. I've known you for 20 plus years, and you're always a joy to be here. Before I hand it to Dee, I just got a message. Those towels that Jamie mentioned, all student athletes will be keeping this towel, because we don't want to have cross-contamination. And that's not just going to be some basic plain old towel. It's going to be a authentic, specially designed by our campus artist. It's going to have a night on it. It's going to say San Diego City College across it. And because we worry about the sun hitting your head, it just got confirmation. It's going to be here in the next week and a half. Everyone is coming back to campus. You got to keep the sun off your head, right? So we're going to have some awesome We Are the Knights hats available to all the athletes and the coaches that are coming back on campus. So you're going to be able to keep the towel. I might take the hat back. I don't know yet. But I just received a message that those things came in. I know it's just little things that we want to do for you. Dee, I know you've got some exciting news just to close this thing out.
Yes. Hi, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited. I've been working with Dottie and Tilly, and we are getting our MOA, which is a memorandum of agreement with the county, and we will hopefully by the end of the month start our own vaccination clinic on campus. So I'm excited. But one thing I would like to add, Erin, even though we are getting vaccinated, it's very important that we still social distance, because even though you fully vaccinated, it doesn't mean that you won't get the virus. So you still need to social distance, wear your face mask, and it's very important.
Thank you so much, Dee. And Dee is the head of our nursing program, acting associate dean. Thank you so much. And it means a lot. She is part of the reason, and Dottie's part of the reason, helping Jamie and everyone get us back. So I'm going to let Jamie actually close this meeting with the final thoughts. But folks, next week, we are back. Make sure you've taken care of the things you're supposed to, because it's not going to be like the teacher saying, oh, I'll give you an extra hour to turn in that paper. Seriously, we have to have this stuff to be approved by risk management to get on campus. If we're not doing the things we're supposed to do, we can't get back on campus. I'm getting a COVID test. I'm getting a vaccine. I'm going to wear my mask. I'm going to bring my own water, and I'm going to do all the right things because I want to see our athletes back on campus. Jamie, final words. Thank you, everybody.
I just wanted to mention one thing. In my presentation, I talked about if you have a high temperature, or if you test positive, or if you have symptoms, that I'll be in contact with you. But since Dottie's here, I just wanted to mention that we will be working with the Student Health Center to get you cleared again. Not that they will be the ones clearing you, but it will be a communication between the athletic training staff and the Student Health Center. So if you do have symptoms or you test positive, you might be in contact with either myself or with Dottie. So since she's here, you can put a name to her face. So I just wanted to mention that. Please, please, please make sure you guys are turning in your physicals. They were due yesterday. I have about 40 of the 150 that we need. So if you do not have a physical, unfortunately, you do not get to come to campus. If you don't have your COVID test, you cannot come to campus. So if you have any questions, please, please, please call or email me. I am here to help. If you need anything, if you're confused, have questions, please reach out and I will do my best to help you. I'm so excited to see you all on campus next week. Let's make sure that we are doing it safely. Bye,
Yes,
everybody.
I put my email address in the chat also.
Perfect. Thanks, Dottie.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.